for a little bit more recording later today. I picked Hades up on the Switch and I'm enjoying it a lot. How does it run on the Switch? It's good. Honestly, like, oh, I guess we'll be doing a new save.
Few tales are
Give up. Oh crap, we gotta go through it. Super Giant is, they're really good.
Inspires fear and penitence.
So I'm not surprised that, that Super Giant is,
however, mean to tell you such a tale.
Capable of making a good PC port.
Listen carefully.
Goodbye, Father.
Oh, it's been a while, dude. It has been a while.
To hell with this place.
Epic has cloud saves. It just, like, they might have enabled them
I'm leaving.
post when I changed PC, so I never updated, prior to the release, or not release, but prior to when I got my, new PC. Anyway, I don't know. I'm content to go through it here. We do have a lot to unlock, though. Cloud saving is recent. Yeah, I remember it being one of those things that, like, at one point it was included on one of those charts that's like, unacceptable things Epic doesn't have. And then even though now they've got it, everybody's like, well, I'll use Epic as soon as they get cloud saves. And I'm like, they got them.
Then here goes nothing.
And they're like, well, nevertheless, where's the shopping cart? Okay, attacks deflect, your cast has AoE, or your dash, I mean, deflect dash is super nice. I have not played
Do not mess with me right now.
since probably March. So it definitely feels a little foreign right now. Yeah, since around the time of the indie pentathlon, for sure. Okay, we got... I mean, it's probably linear to start with, right? Because we're in the tutorial still. I think this is the tutorial. I didn't get a boon when I first started, which makes me think this is still the tutorial. I wonder if you had a manual copy of your save, if you could just restore it. But I definitely do not.
They absorbed my blood.
Can you watch the lore now that you've restarted? I don't know if that's ever going to be in the cards for me. I'm just not a... Like, it's tough, you know? It's like I respect the lore, but I also... You know, I think I gotta start selling a t-shirt that says, like, less is lore. You know, like, less is more. Like, if the game... This is... They would never do this, but... If the game opened and was like, hey, there's gonna be less than 15 minutes total of lore, I would watch all of it. But because every time I go back to the hub world, I'm inundated by voices and like 100 different characters, then I'm like, nah, because I don't know, it's indeterminate, it may never end. That's the selling point of the game. Maybe for you, again, I'm not saying you don't have to care about lore.
I heard about you.
You can care about whatever you want to care about. Extra attack crit is awesome. Extra special crit is kind of interesting too. What is the special again? Oh, okay, it's the AoE. This is a hot take? I mean, it's not a hot take. My hot take on lore is that, you know, lore is not compulsory, I guess is my hot take. So whenever people are like, you know, we just want you to experience the story, I'm like, no, you don't. Trust it, because I've been there. I was talking about it on this subreddit, actually. I was like, you know, someone was like, why don't you play more AAA games? And I was like, in my experience, whenever I play earnest, i.e. not bad, story-driven games, people are like, we just want to see your reactions. And I'm like, no, historically I disagree. What I find is that you want to watch me watch your favorite story ever, and if I say anything even remotely critical about it, people lose their minds. That's one reason I'm low on the lore front. But I'm a mechanics guy to begin with. Like, and I'm not saying every game has to be Death Stranding. But, like, if you want to get me interested in the lore, you kind of need to do some, like, stupid, ambitious Hideo Kojima stuff that might not even be... like, I care less about whether or not it's good, and more just being like, whoa, this is weird. This guy was definitely on drugs. Wonder what this guy was taking when he came up with this idea.
A centaur heart. Each exit has its own reward.
Probably should have gone the other way.
Think I hear the
Unless, is there a fountain here?
Kieran's shop.
Kieran's shop. There's some fast food. I can live with that.
I'll take it. Why, good to see.
This guy only likes Marvel. See, this is what I mean. Like, this is what... Everyone's like, we just want you to experience it. And then I'm like, I'm not that interested. They're like, fuck you! I'm gonna cyberbully you. It's the Big Brother community all over again. Cool. There we go. Well, if you just did everything we said, you wouldn't get cyberbullied. Let the man be a mechanic, Stan, okay? I don't even want to get started on the Big Brother community. We'll save that for another day. I do wish Cobalt would stop tweeting negative stuff about Big Brother, though. But you know, it's his socials. Anyway. Oh, don't hit me, because I forgot how to dodge for a second, because yellow HP means you don't get stun locked. There we go. I did it again. That's why I get confused about how much chat wants to see Breath of the Wild. Honestly, I think it's like, and this is like without the veneer of faux elitism I put on, which is very different than the air of real elitism I tried so hard to purge from my demeanor but can't seem to. I think, you know, if you watch other streamers predominantly because they play games that you like, you're like, oh, I want to see him play a game that I like. That's, for the most part, not the kind of streamer I am. I'm more like a streamer you're like, oh, he's playing a game I hate. This is must-watch television.
Hackathonic key. Which way?
Let's get the pomegranate boon upgrade. Not that you would hate Hades. I mean, I play mostly good games. But, like, the best streams are when it's like, oh, this is a bad one. That one's gonna be a doozy. I'm just being sincere, though. Like, I have very little interest in most video game stories. But it's also true for, like, for TV. Like, I've been watching Raised by Wolves, and I think the show is actually not that good. But I do like watching it, because, like, at least once or twice per episode, I go, like, oh, that's an interesting choice. Like, that's worth more to me, for the most part, than just, like, I guess, competency. Marvel's the exception for sure. But people are like, well, why do you stay on Marvel? I think we want the damage scaling. Well, like, you know, I haven't seen a Marvel movie in like 18 months. We'll talk 18 months from now. See, you know, tastes change over time.
Good enough to eat.
Oh, it's the boss, right?
Well, this is awkward.
Hot Sagrid.
Come on, Meg.
We can make this, dude.
I'll have to go.
And then after.
I know. I've seen this before. I remember. Anyway, I saw someone say, I liked the first episode, but it seemed like where the story was going in Raised by Wolves is a little plain. I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna die as well. I'll be honest with you. It actually gets a lot worse after the first few episodes. In my opinion, parts of it go off in kind of an eye-rolly sort of direction. But it's still pretty interesting. She got me. She got me.
Stupid fool.
Is it Prometheus tier? No, it's more like, I don't know, like it starts with some bold ideas in episode 1 and 2, and then it does start to get a little bit kind of like a lot of bottle episode sort of stuff.
Back already.
Things move real quick, which is not necessarily bad, but
Greetings, Father.
Be on your way. You've returned. Good to see you.
And fear is...
like the first couple of episodes were like quite arty, even though it's also like a big kind of dumb sci-fi experience. But then after that, it's more like, all right, here's what we're gonna be doing week to week. All right, I'll pet the dog, okay?
We are.
Infernal watchdogs.
You watch over things.
Haven't earned the dog pet yet.
Hey, room. I'm back.
Did you see the post that Supergiant made? I mean, we definitely want one of these. That was like, you can only pet one of the heads, because in order to make it so you could pet 3 heads, it would have taken us like so much extra like design work in the engine that we could instead use for other stuff.
There we go.
I thought that was funny.
Coronach, the heart seeker.
They were like, because like in order to get it, because it's something to do with like the fact that it's all built isometric and stuff like that. In order to have it so you could actually like interact with the other heads was going to be a little goofy.
I don't remember having you.
And you know what? I mean, to be honest with you, I would be inclined to kind of trust Supergiant, considering their track record is really good. Anyway, let me out.
Ready as I'll ever be.
Bo is arse.
Thunder. Is this really him?
I think they were joking. They were not joking. I also do not like the bow, I will admit. Although, I do like the special bow.
Zeus lending his support. Never thought I'd see the
Oh,
day.
terrible start.
Night. Whenever.
Bow is great. I'm not a bow guy. I'm just not a bow. I like the shield in this game. Then again, I also don't know what I'm talking about. It's been a while.
Heads up.
Heads Up? Dude, that's not a game I've played in a long time. You ever play Heads Up 7-Up? What's the difference between Heads Up 7-Up and Duck Duck Goose? Chasing? One has heads, broken thumbs? What are you playing in prison? I don't understand. They're very... I thought that... Aren't they both games where somebody comes up behind you and like taps on your head and says a word?
This one was bound to show up.
You've got quite the fighting.
I do like Doom. I think Doom is gonna be our best.
Violence.
I know Duck Duck Goose is... They go duck, duck, and then when it's goose, you chase them around in a circle. That it's like... an asymmetrical multiplayer game. You put your head down, but your thumb up in heads up, 7 up. That's right. Okay, I've got vague memories. You know what my favorite game was? It's, there's another name for it. But we played it in French class a lot, so we called it 10, because we learned it to count, we learned how to count to 10. So the way that it works is like everybody's in a circle, and then you start counting from 1. You can say 1 or 2 numbers, and then it passes to the next person. And if you say 10, you're eliminated. So you never want to be next to somebody who says 9. You know what I mean? That's a bad game. It's actually like a sick game for light problem solving. I very much disagree with you. It teaches basic strategy. And honestly, I would say like light mathematics as well. Not like addition, but I mean like thinking about like the step-by-step order of problem solving. Because like when there's 2 people, you know what's up. You don't want to be the person who says 7. Because if you say 7, then the other person... If you say 7 or 8, the other person could beat you, unless you get to say 8, 9. But it gets much more complicated when you have like 3 or 4 people. That's when things get real meaty and strategic. I think it's a good game, and also I think you guys are haters. That's my 2 cents about this. I've never seen this mid-boss before. Please, I need Doom to break them. Help me, help me, help me! We're doing okay. 26 HP. No problem. Alright, not so bad.
One less giant evil crystal then.
Special inflicts Doom. Doom does... Oh, dude, I'll take bonus Doom damage. Blade Rift is pretty good, too, don't get me wrong. Something in my head says... purple pool equals HP somehow. I hope that's true. It could. Alright. Thanks, brain. Appreciate it. Anyway, I think that's my favorite schoolyard game, is 10. As you know from Fall Guys, I'm not much of a tag guy. Jump rope? I hate to say it, but I was pretty good at jumping rope.
Let's see what's in here.
I was pretty good at dodgeball, too. I think we want this and this. I want to say it's not a bad game. I missed the part where you said you can say more than 1 number. Yeah, I mean... It's an extremely bad game if it was like, just don't be the 10th person in line. Like that would be truly horrendous.
Let's see.
We didn't have... Okay, hold on. This is big. 3% flat critical chance? Let's do it. We didn't have Foursquare at my school. For some reason, we never got Foursquare.
Numbskulls.
I don't know if it didn't roll out regionally or something. Can a kid just start with 9? You have to count from 1 to 10. You can't just start at 9 and screw the person next. It's a sequential game. It's just blowing my mind because like I actually like taught kids and they just get it. So what does that say about Twitch chat? I don't know. You'll have to figure that one out for yourself. Like a class full of, you know, 20 Korean 3rd graders was like, we get it, teacher. Shut up and let us play. Twitch chat is like, excuse me, what about this edge case? Like, just relax, Poindexter. It's a game. We're just trying to have fun. You don't need to make a post on the bulletin board when you lose that's like, we need to change the rules. The mechanics are unfair. Alright, well, guess what? We get to go back to repeating, you know, items in the grocery store now. Or trying to teach the worst lesson of all, trying to teach the difference between on, in, beside, behind, in front of, and under. It's a very physical lesson where you're jumping up on desks over and over. And then you jump up on the desk and they're like, behind. And you're like, nope. Under. Nope, it's not that either. It's not that one. That's not the one. Wrong again, dumbass. Oh no. It is a fun class for the kids. Survive for 45 seconds? What is this? Block party? How did you get inside the chair? No, you would always you would put like a pencil inside of a desk. Excuse me. I'll give you my permission to hit me.
Nearly made it.
Stuff a kid inside of a locker. Probably would have gotten a little bit of trouble. They would have thought I was American. Alright. Definitely 20% extra damage on Doom. Oh, dude. Dude. Although I'm like, hold on. I feel like the Doom doing 30%, doing 30 more damage and then getting doubled is probably more positive.
Hey there, Meg.
Didn't they think you were American anyway? They do assume you are American as a Canadian. I mean, to be honest, as much as I'd love to be like, oh, it's not fair. It's like a relatively safe assumption if you speak English with a North American style accent. I mean, there's 30-something million Canadians and 300-something million Americans. So I'm not gonna get too bent out of shape over it. Just say A lot. I don't know if they would pick up on that. It's possible. Excuse me. Excuse me, excuse me. Have you always had that AoE? Yes? I don't think so. I was pretty good at this game. I think I would remember something like that. Little lucky. Little lucky.
I did it. The ancient blood.
The ancient blood. Yo, that's a new icon, too.
How did you? None.
Speak French and hear lumberjacks 24/7. Hear lumberjacks?
My bones. Farthest I've come. Done.
You had the whole diatribe where you unloaded on Dan about people assuming you were American. Well, you know, we have different banter on Unity and different banter on Sundays for sure.
Now we're getting somewhere.
The more annoying thing is not when Americans assume you're American and then you go, actually, I'm Canadian, and they go, well, I'm sorry if you're offended.
Bone rakers.
It's more annoying when they assume every celebrity is American. And then when you go, did you know they're actually Canadian? They go, why are Canadians so preoccupied with who's from Canada and who's not? And it's because you guys are assuming that it's one of yours and it's one of ours. We gotta mention it, otherwise people would be like, oh yeah, we got all of them. Does it matter? You wouldn't understand, chat, because if you're American, you're operating from the default position of power, so things that might not seem like they would matter to you actually, you know, might matter to people that are in a different position.
Course is set. Wave makers.
How does that take? Current events. Sort of, but not really.
How many now?
It's in the Canadian identity. At least, like, I would say 50% of the modern Canadian identity is in delineating yourself from Americans. Despite really being quite similar. More similar than different. Yo, why am I so weak? What if instead of weakness, we were strong? That's why I'm trying to get the freaking keys.
Right there.
Humans are more similar than different. Well, I don't know. What about people from Newfoundland?
Burn flingers.
They do all sorts of weird stuff. Have you heard about the mummers? Good idea. Just stand right there. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, we're learning enemy patterns again. Much better. Much better. Man, this is the kind of game you gotta keep your head on a swivel in Hades. This ain't Isaac. You're pressing buttons every 2 seconds.
You may have suffered many wounds, but shall not fall.
Special deflects. It's kind of interesting.
Divine protection.
Feel like the resisting damage doesn't matter too much when you have so little HP you die in one hit regardless.
I'm at the docks.
I would like to... Can I get both? 125.50? I can't get both. Oh, baby. We're living. Yeah, whatever. Oh, I'm sad. Draw fan art of me. I know how it goes.
That's a problem.
Okay, I remember you. I don't know why in my head it feels like I fought you like yesterday. So our special deflect. There you go. That's... You gotta start using your abilities to the best of your ability. That's cool. Mummering sounds weird. It's unusual for sure. It's... I mean, for anybody that has not heard me go off on this before, it's a Newfoundland... I guess it's like originally like an Irish tradition or something, where you... I mean, I don't know how to say it in delicate terms. You cross-dress and then go to your neighbor's house and get hammered. It actually sounds like kind of cool. Maybe I'm just jealous that we got all these like puritanical holidays where we're like lead turkey and argue about politics. And in Newfoundland, they're just over there like wilding out. Can I just do it sober? We're inverted people. I'm like, it sounds cool, but can I just show up in my normal clothes? I got no problem with socializing with the neighbors and having a couple adult beverages, but I would prefer to wear my usual attire.
Until next time, gigantic overhead.
Oh, dude, deflect dash. We're building this one back. That's boring. Oh, look at Tim's not wearing a shirt. He's wearing a blouse. Isn't that weird? This is the height of comedy. If you're into it, you're into it. I'm just saying. I prefer to do my comedy on the tapestry of verbs. Like a patrician. Like a boss. Le shit on Deborah's desk.
Must be the last of them.
I've been trying to bring back very cringeworthy memes from the early 2010s and the late 2000s. Today I tried to bring back the cake is a lie. It didn't really work very well. But it got a few hundred likes at least, which is something. But I wonder if Like a Boss is primed. I wonder if Like a Boss could come back.
The power of the gods. Palmed up.
Did he say pogged up? It really sounded like he said pogged up.
Hello? Oh, great.
Yeah, exactly. Yo, dog. I heard you like pog, so I put a pog in your pog so you can pog while you pog. Why would you do this? Well, it's weird, but like, I feel like in some ways, humor, at least in the form of memes, is recognizing, you know, what's current and contemporary. So to actually choose the least cool memes and try to bring them back at the lowest point of their public favor is almost like the height of humor. And in its own unique way, don't you think that it highlights the absurdity of memes to begin with? That the inside joke is only funny in the context of other people finding it funny, is not actually funny on its own right. I was made fun of for laughing at Crazy Hamburger. Honestly, anybody who watches Crazy Hamburger and doesn't at least understand why someone would laugh is not someone you want to be hanging out with anyway. Excuse me, where's my food? There used to be food in these pots. We knew that was coming. It's just kind of dumb, IMO. There's so much more than it being dumb. It's the fact that this is clearly like a, you know, a man minimum in his 30s that's dressed up like the Joker making videos on child YouTube. Like that, the existence of that content to me is deeply humorous. Like thinking of what goes through that guy's head on a daily basis. That's humorous. What led him to put on the makeup that morning? Whether or not he loves his job, or he hates the duties but merely tolerates it for the algorithmic profit it creates. I want to know more about this man. I watched that video Toasty tweeted at us. Behind the meme or whatever. Seems like he's having fun. So you're saying you want the lore? I do. I do want the lore about stuff like that. Again, I only want unique stories. I mean, come on, this isn't a unique story. I've read the classic plays of Sophocles. I don't need any more I don't need any more Hellenic classical narrative. Like a boss. Unless he shits on Deborah's desk, I'm not interested. You have? Yeah, I have. Saturnalia. I read Saturnalia. I read the one where the dude gets a big old boner for his mom. And then there's like a second one
You wouldn't dare.
in that series as well.
Bad time to be a little
We got like no money, dude. Antigone. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we read Antigone.
Get me out of here.
No, I did not read it in the original Greek. Nor did I understand what was happening.
The fields of
Classical studies degree here, he's correct. It takes a lot of education to only appear as dumb as I do. You've heard other streamers. The fact that I come across on this platform like I have an IQ of 85 is only because I have a great respect for education. I need HP, please. By the way, speaking of me hating all other streamers' public personas, did you guys see the blow-up about skill-based matchmaking in Call of Duty? I was following that all day yesterday. And by all day, I mean I looked at the tweets like 2 times, maybe. It's crazy, man. I didn't realize... For anybody who's not familiar, we've talked about it a little bit before, because I was confused about it then as well. There's a large contingent of streamers who hate skill-based matchmaking in Call of Duty, but they don't just hate it. They tweet things that are very disrespectful. If you like I saw somebody tweet, if you like skill-based matchmaking, you're the kind of person that in sports you were just happy to get a participation trophy. I was like, maybe ease up there. You play with a toy for a living. Like, I'm not suggesting that it doesn't take skill. I'm just suggesting you're kind of talking like you're, you know, the height of human achievement when you're playing with like digital like 1s and 0s, like laser tag with a controller, right? And I was also like, it feels like the exact opposite. Like, don't you want your wins handed to you if you don't want skill-based matchmaking? Because if you're a pro, if there's no skill-based matchmaking, you're gonna be given random people that are not very good over and over. Whereas in skill-based matchmaking, you're gonna, you know, play against other people that are good, which is gonna, like, basically all of the tweets were like, I hate losing. It was really funny to see, though. Because, I mean, I feel like we've had the same discussion about Fall Guys. But at least I'm like one step more enlightened, but still very dumb. Where I'm like, hey, tryhards can ruin the game. Pros are like, they're almost there, in my opinion. But they're actually like, you know, I don't know. Clearly, I don't know what I'm talking about, but hold on. I want to get more HP per chamber. They want the easy win. They want to win 20 games in a row, and somehow they've convinced themselves that if they don't, it's the skill-based matchmaking that's the problem.
Just shield of chaos. Lend me your power.
There we go. Anyway, I will admit, I might be misinterpreting it, because I am clearly not a Call of Duty professional. In case that's not clear.
I'm ready.
But I'm like, dude, welcome to, like, you know, every game I've ever played in my entire life. Not like this.
Daedalus, wherever you may be right now. Thank you.
What, like, that's just my existence, is winning about 50% of the games I play, no matter what game I'm playing. So someone's like, they should make it match based on ping more than skill-based matchmaking. That I can understand. But the idea that, like, I just want to step into casual matches and stomp without even having to try. Is like, you know, I mean, I don't want to like tell you how to live your life, but I'm like, yeah, your casual match might be like the greatest match I've ever played in my life. So I don't know. I'm just like, it gets annoying when I'm like, the game should be tailored exclusively for streamers. A lot of people want a ranked mode, but then casual to not have skill-based matchmaking. But I don't understand, like, if you're going into, and Banal, you're more of like an expert on this, so I know I'm not necessarily saying I'm going to agree with you no matter what. I'm mostly saying just like, you know, I'll default to some of your wisdom at least. But like, if you play ranked, you're trying to try hard and grind. If you play casual, why does it matter if you get skill-based matchmaking and lose? Like, why don't you just be like more okay with losing? And, you know, play like weird pub builds anyway, but not care because it doesn't affect your rank. It sounds like the problem is that they're like, oh, I want to play casual and also stomp. I get that it's not easy to just like turn off your brain, but and be like, oh, I don't want to win anymore, because everybody wants to win. I mean, that's what I've always found with every game, though, is like ranked mode, and this is because I'm a baddie, so I'm willing to say it, but ranked mode is like, you know, where you go for easier matches, and casual is where you go to get shit on, because the algorithm doesn't do skill-based matchmaking, and it pairs you with, you know, pros that are literally just there to stomp because they're tired of losing in their ranked matches. Deflect dash, please. I'll try a special deflect. Anyway, like at the end of the day, I don't really care that much because it's not really my, you know, it's not my side of the industry. But I was very stunned to see pros be like, I'm sick of playing people at my level. I just want to get free wins. And also, like, this is the other thing, but the number of people who were like, yeah, I agree. Like, if you, like, I saw some people be like, if you like skill-based matchmaking, you're never going to get anywhere in your life, because whenever you get a challenge, like, you're not going to rise to the occasion. I'm like, we're talking about fucking Call of Duty. I'm not saying you can't make, you know, $1 billion being a Call of Duty professional, but whenever somebody is, like, above average at a game, and they're like, you don't know what it's like to deal with strife. I'm like, fuck you, but I got real fucking problems that are not just like my elo is inflated and I'm salty when I lose. We got a damn mortgage payment, dude. I got bigger fish to fry. We want Athena boon here. There you go. It's not a problem with your elo, it's a problem with your ego. Incredible. Anyway, I weigh in on it here in my safe space because I know people will agree with me. I would never weigh in on it on Twitter because, quite frankly, it's not really my fight to begin with, but I'm like, you know, it's the same, like if Fall Guys had casual and ranked, the only reason I would ever play casual would be like, I lost in ranked, and now I want to win to make my ego feel soothed. We almost died there.
Anyone else?
So I kind of feel like, oh, dude, deflect dash, let's go. I kind of feel like if you do that, you should recognize that the problem is also internal. You know, it's more like, why do I feel compelled to win at all times? Also, like, I don't know. I think it's really funny and also a little bit condescending that some pro players think that literally casual players should just exist not to have fun, but just to go into casual lobbies and be fodder for pros. Like, that sounds fun. Let me pay $60 so that, you know, people on Optic Gaming can, you know, put me in their montages. Being the Joker is more fun than winning in Fall Guys? I don't know, winning feels pretty good. The #1 feeling in Fall Guys is winning Fall Ball, Number 2 is getting fall ball. Number 3 is winning a game. Number 4 is throwing somebody off the edge. Why don't they go down to the elementary school and play some pickup basketball? Dude, when I'm playing pickup basketball, I don't want to have to try, okay? Like, I think it's bullshit that I'm in the NBA, and when I go down to the YMCA, they're like, oh, okay, here, go play against Kevin Durant. I don't want to play against Kevin Durant. I want to play against a middle-aged accountant, okay? I'm just here to have fun, i.e. absolutely destroy somebody else. And then go back to ranked. And then whenever I lose in ranked, be mad at it because it's skill-based matchmaking. I just don't want to have to try to win. Anyway. I've been there. I mean, I'll take it a step further. I'll alienate everybody that's watching. I also think if you make a Smurf in a video game, you should be banned from computer games for 3 months. Even, and because I know the caveat is, what if I want to play with friends? Well then, like, I mean, here's the thing. It's like, it's not a victimless crime, but you're making everybody else the victim of your crime. You know, so me and my friends playing have to suffer and play against people who are pretending to be bad but are actually great. Because you're like, oh, you know, I want to play with my boys, but also I wouldn't want to play with them on my real account, because then they wouldn't have fun. So instead, I'm just, I mean, I can't begrudge you for taking an unfair advantage, you know. But I'm like, internally, like, I would never be like, oh, I hate you for doing it, but I'm a little bit like, it's kind of uncool.
Olympus calls.
You have the shield.
It's pretty good.
The will to fight.
I think we want to possibly buy things.
Charon's shop.
Whoa, he's mad, dude. You want a little slice of this? I don't even remember what this does.
Charon. Wait, you don't have to.
Oh, plus 1 HP and the bone hourglass. Honestly, I'd rather have one of these.
You know, one thing.
Ooh.
Exchange.
15% chance for critical damage is pretty good, but I'm gonna be a complete coward and just take 2% flat crit chance.
Yeah, Meg.
You're not a skip.
No, not just.
That was plus 1 lore. Ah, shit, it was too. Anyway, that's my thoughts. But I will also admit, like, I completely understand the philosophy. Because there are times where I'm like, man, I wish people wouldn't be so try-hard. Like in Fall Guys, it's a perfect example. I'm like, I wish people wouldn't be so try-hard. But the second point that I'm very happy to be at this level of realization for, oh no, is that I'm always like, why do I wish that? And I'm like, oh, so I could win more easily. I don't go like, oh, the algorithm's fucked. I'm bad. Officially bad. I was like, the shield will protect me. It did not. You know what I am going to do, though? Don't get me wrong, I had a good time with Hades. I hope I can squeeze in a little bit more this week. But I'm going to do one more Spelunky 2 run. I am. If Hades will close. Look, just if you're mad at me, just look at the chat. Look at how many people were made happy by what I just said right there.